I'll write anything you want. As soon as I write my play.
You mean the play you can't even start?
Untitled Chapter is free-spirited, idealistic,
Passionate.
My name's Lisa Burrell. I play Untitled Chapter. It only took probably 2 weeks worth of rehearsal to get that name correct. I listened to that on Wikipedia like 12,000 times and was corrected 12,001. She actually was a real person. She was a French playwright and activist during the French Revolution. She did die by the guillotine for her outspokenness. She was against racism. She fought for the right for women to get divorced, civil partnerships. She was a feminist. She's an early feminist, but very, very strong woman and pretty much a badass. And unfortunately, she lost her head because of her beliefs. My place is all just the right kind of people. Thank you very much. Excuse me for trying to do something revolutionary during this revolution.
Greetings, Terrestrials! The date is September 30th, 2021, and you are watching Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. Oh, no stranger times than the times in which the sound does not come out of my mouth, but here we are, right here. It is September 30th, 2021, and my friends, Earth is in retrograde. But here we are. As those who are unfamiliar with our program will tell you, they will tell you Mercury is in retrograde, but no, my friends, Earth has been in retrograde for quite some time, which means as Mercury enters retrograde, what we are actually witnessing is Mercury in its normal state. And so for this period of time, we are back to normal in some horrible back to normal, whatever that may be. But my friends, it's only temporary. We are in the world of the weird for the long term. We just have to rough it out. Through this little period of Mercury and normalcy. So to help us cope, we are going to be doing a little art tonight. We are going to be doing a little bit of painting. If Spangler does not destroy... If he does not destroy the portable set that we're trying to build before we even get to the art time. Hey, buddy. We're trying to produce a show over here. Thank you. Kids these days. So that's what we're going to be doing. I'm working on this set, and I'll tell you why. One, my good friend Sarah from the American Snallygaster Museum, what happens when Mercury is in normalcy? Well, let me recap that in just 1 second. My good friend, Sarah from the American Snallygaster Museum, she suggested to me, she said, Cliff, you should do a booth at events where people can come to you, and then you can interview them at events about things you've seen. And I said, my gosh, what an incredible idea. I am not enough of an extrovert to walk around and talk to people on my own. If they come to me, that is an equitable decision. Oh my gosh, I'm just now realizing how loud I do this show. Now that I can see the levels in front of me, so let's get that right. How's that sounding, folks? That's leveled a little better. How about that? I saw way peaking in the red for the voice I always do the show in. So there we go. A little adjustment to the audio there for you folks. What happens when Mercury is in normalcy? Yes, wait. We're getting off track because we fixed the audio. She suggested, do this thing at events. I said, my gosh, you're right. So we are building a little higher. Okay, we're a little too quiet. Thank you, everybody. I cannot hear what's coming through outside of my own voice. All right, let me know if that is good in the chat. We are working the audio live tonight. It's just me. It's just me pushing all the buttons, which is also why we're not doing calls this evening. So that is why. I haven't figured out the technical loop-de-doos you have to do to make a Macintosh computer capture audio from Zoom. It's apparently much easier to do on a PC, but I have other things I need the computer for. It's not important to you. All right, here's the thing. So we're going to be doing some painting. We're going to be putting this set together that we can do at events. But also, a fun thing, this weekend here on Twitch, I have been doing some gaming, and Steven has loaned me a capture card. And I am doing I am going to be playing some Xbox games this weekend. On Saturday, I'm going to be playing No Man's Sky. I've been playing that for a while now, and I'm recording it. I've got a journal going, so we're going to set up like a little art cam so you can see as I explore this world and do those things in space. And then the next day, I haven't played it at all yet, so we're going to be starting from the beginning. Fallout 76. I have on good word from a friend that this game is better, and people were just kind of like low babies about it at launch. But Mothman is in it, the Flatwoods Monster is in it, it's all there in spooky, weird West Virginia. How can I not play this game? So we're going to get that started, and we'll be exploring all those both. And I'm going to be keeping journals for both of those games, and if you want to see like actual good pictures of what's going to be in there, because I keep track of that when I'm not streaming. I've never streamed before. So, we're going to be having those on the Strange Times Indeed Patreon right there. Oh, that's why I had this bigger, because I didn't have it on the screen the whole time. I believed that was crass at one point. But there you go. If you want to see what's in those journals, you can always support the show on Patreon. We're going to be posting those pictures of those on our Patreon page, patreon.com/strangetimesindeed. So there you go. Go ahead and give us a help. If you're making art tonight, with us as I go and make art after our top stories, feel free to send those in. I'll put this up on the screen. Oh my goodness. Call in. Nope. Just kidding. That is not the link I thought it was either. Email. Here we go. Perfect. There we go. Okay. So many little tech things. This is the problem is, you think you have things together, but the show is largely improv. All right, so there we go. If you're making art tonight, you want to send something in, and send it in there. And if I'm really good at doing the show tonight, maybe we'll see your art. But you can start doing that now. Here are the top stories tonight, folks. Okay, we're coming in. Actually, I can't do. There's no way I can tackle this while this music is playing. This is a down. I've been debating to myself. I'll be honest with the six of you. I've been debating to myself. Do I cut the music for good? Or do I keep it as a bubbly little undertone? Well, we don't really need it right now for the news. So here we go. They don't do the news with real underscoring. So we're going to do that, and we'll bring the music back to have a nice little filler while we're painting later. Here we go, folks. All right, a Kentucky man has been charged with shooting outside of a hotel room window at 3 o'clock in the morning, claiming to witness aliens, or as we prefer to call them on this program, extraterrestrials, in the hotel parking lot. Alarmed at the sound of shooting, people from this hotel in Richmond, Kentucky, called the police, hearing the sounds of these gunshots, and went in to find a man in there shooting out at the parking lot. They arrested him, and here's the thing. Here's why we talk about this story, because you might say, well, Cliff, if the police were there and he's shooting out the window at the time they're there, one, wild that he's still alive. And two, did the police not see the extraterrestrials? Well, it's hard to say, but here's what we've got to talk about on the program, folks, is how we are addressing these extraterrestrials. Should they come face to face with us? We can't come at them with weapons, with weaponry. Again, I have said this a million times on the program. They're coming here from outer space, from galaxies beyond our comprehension, with technology we can't even dream of, and we're gonna come at them with our little bullets like that's gonna get them. And they're not saying they're coming here to fight us, but if our first thing to do when we see something strange that we cannot comprehend is to attack it, we're gonna get in a whole lot of trouble that way. We're gonna wreck society that way, you know? So we gotta, if it's 3 o'clock in the morning and you're at a hotel and you see an extraterrestrial in the parking lot, let it go about its business, or go say hello. I think there's an ice cream truck somewhere outside. Now, oh no, you know what it is? I'm hearing the record not going through the speakers very quietly. Okay, here we go. Moving right along. All right, this is a story coming out. Actually, you know what? We're going to cut that one because I want to have more time for painting. This is a story, and friends, this might be not the best, not your favorite thing to see, but I will... Here's some incredible footage of a rat king found alive. I'm not really sure. Where was this found? Oh no, I closed that. Oh, here we go. In Russia. Now, I want to talk about this, and I want to talk about this again. Tonight we're chastising people on the program. Tonight, we found this news story on Coast to Coast AM on their website, and it says here, the title. Give me 1 second, folks. I just want to pull up this footage for you. But the title of this news story says, Video, Nightmarish Rat King Found in Russia. Found in Russia, and it's here's part of the thing that's amazing to it, but not in the headline. Found alive. Very, very rarely are rat kings found alive, because when a rat's tails get tied together, well, it's hard for them to move and do the things that they need to do. But if found alive, this is a very powerful cryptid, and it's not unlike a very local and new cryptid that I will be talking about in just a minute. But where is the folder? Here we go. All right. I remembered to get the file. I just forgot to put it in the show. Here we go. All right, look at this. This was found in a watermelon field. There they are, alive. Incredible sight here. A rat king. Now, if you look really closely, and this is really the unfortunate thing about this one. If you look really closely, they do not look like they're very old, these rats. Now, I don't know about you, but me and my girlfriend in high school, we had 2 rats, and at a normal age, those things are pretty big. Those fellas looked a little small, which is like pretty sad. That's not a rat king right there. That's a rat prince. It's a little rat prince. That's not nightmarish. That's a wonderful, weird little thing. And if you take that rat prince and you nurture it and grow it, it can become a powerful rat king. Not only combined by its tails, but in that combination, gaining psychic abilities. But you have to nurture the rat prince. You have to nurture the rat prince. It's not a nightmarish thing. You nurture the rat prince so that it may become a majestic and horrible rat king. Nightmarish. Look at this. Those sweet little beebs. Alright, now, similarly, we've got a new cryptid watch. Boop, 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 boop. I didn't have a thing prepared for that one. New cryptid watch right here. Right here, Sleeping Zebra. You, of all people, will probably love this one just for the name. Oh my, I've been holding this but never drinking from it. Oh my goodness. Okay, there we go. You'll especially love this one right here in Maryland, folks. Right here in Maryland, 5 zebras have escaped from a local farm, and they refuse to be caught. These zebras absolutely refuse to be caught. There are 5 of them. And what makes these a cryptid is that there are more than one, much like a rat king. When more than one zebra, really, all it takes is more than one zebra combine and start going together. Their lines intertwine and dance together, creating a rift in time and space within the one being that is now multiple zebras. And one of these, I don't even know what to call them, a shimmering zebra or something like that, is right here in Maryland. Probably like the really nice part of Maryland, considering it was a farm with a zebra. Like, let's think about the economic class in which this cryptid is currently haunting. And these poor rich people are out there in I don't know, in Potomac. Like, oh, the zebras are back. The zebras. Heavens to Betsy. They can't stand the sight of so many lines shimmering back and forth and rifting through reality right here. So you gotta be on the lookout, my friends, in Maryland. All right, here we go, everybody. There we go. Those are the top stories. It's paint night. We're gonna be putting this set together so we can be streaming these games on the weekend. We'll be doing that right here on Twitch. I'm not setting a specific time. Guess what, folks? That's the fun thing. You gotta follow this account. It's just gonna kind of happen when I feel like it on Saturday and Sunday. You know, that's what makes it fun. But probably like around noonish, maybe noon or 1, and it'll be going for a couple hours. It's not just gonna be like a 1 hour, like you do it and you miss it. I'm gonna play these games for a while. No Man's Sky on Saturday and the other game on Sunday, and I will have this nice little set behind me, so I can do it in the room where the TV is, and still, be here. You know how it works. That's the magic of television, folks. We're going to go ahead and move into painting night in just a second, everybody. But first, a word from our sponsor.
All right, anything you want. As soon as I write my play.
You mean the play can't even start?
Untitled Chapter is free-spirited, idealistic,
Passionate.
My name's Lisa Burrell. I play Untitled Chapter. It only took probably 2 weeks worth of rehearsal to get that name correct. I listened to that on Wikipedia like 12,000 times and was corrected 12,001. She actually was a real person. She was a French playwright and activist during the French Revolution. She did die by the guillotine for her outspokenness. She was against racism. She fought for the right for women to get divorced, civil partnerships. She was a feminist. She's an early feminist, but very, very strong woman and pretty much a badass. And unfortunately, she lost her head because of her beliefs. My place is all just the right kind of people. Thank you very much. Excuse me for trying to do something revolutionary during this revolution.
Greetings, Terrestrials! Cliff McCallister here, the Czar of the Bizarre. Today is September 30th, 2021. Mercury is in normalcy. And these are some strange times indeed, my friends. These are some strange times indeed. And of course, you are watching Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. Every week on this show, we take your calls to hear about the strange and the unexplained. But this week, well, we don't have my tech guy. So we're doing some art tonight. I'm going to be painting our portable set right here. You can see here on our up-close cam. This is the up-close cam. It's kind of limited by what it can do. Again, this is a one-man show tonight. But here I am. We're going to be painting some wood grain with my assistant Spangler. He's going to do his best not to make a whole mess out of this thing. So let's get this thing started, and while we're going, I'll tell you what it means for Mercury to be in normalcy. How about that, folks? And if you're watching at home and you feel that Mercury being in normalcy is weighing on you, well then why don't you make some art too? And you can share it with us at strangetipsindeed@gmail.com. I've got the email address pulled up. strangetipsindeed@gmail.com. I don't have it pulled up on this window. Oh boy, hold on one second. Nope, that one. There we go. Okay. There it is, as big as can possibly be. Send your art right here. Strange Tips Indeed. This is our tip line as well. If you are a government employee of some sort and you know about unidentified aerial phenomenon, as you government bigwigs like to call it, you can send that evidence right to strangetipsindeed@gmail.com. We won't say who you are. That is my solemn promise to you, government employees. So there we go. We're going to be painting tonight. Give us those scoops and send your art in. We'll give it a check. We're going to be ending around 10-ish. This stream, I'll keep painting, but we're going to be ending around 10-ish. And there you go. Let's, get it. That's your deadline. That's your timeline to get it in. Facing away, turn the audio up. Thank you, Clark Kent. I should probably, can I just use your real name? In case kids are watching the show. Yes, Extended Cut McCallister. Wait, well, I mean, I'll probably keep it going on my own. But so the trick to doing wood grain is just kind of taking it real nice and real light. Think about how a tree has lived 1,000,000 lives, standing in one space, watching time go by. Eons and eons of human beings have gone past this tree. And then one day it went to a lumber mill and it died. Probably before it went to the lumber mill. Oh my goodness, we're getting raided! We're getting raided! Oh my goodness! If I weren't painting, I'd be in the perfect position to do a real good twerk. Believe me, I can do it. And not in an appropriative way either, like I'm so freaking good. Anyway, folks were asking, what does it mean when Mercury is in normalcy? Well, something that we realized on this program, in our very first recording, we discussed this incident in which interdimensional, little particles were discovered coming out of the Antarctic, and they knew they were kind of interdimensional because these were particles coming from that are like solar particles. They come out, they come into the ice. They go into the ice, not out. And they aren't so thin that they could go through the Earth or through the ice. And they do not bounce. We know this about these specific particles. And yet in the Antarctic, they found a space in which these particles are coming up. They're coming out of the Antarctic. And what these scientists surmised is that this was evidence of another dimension in which time moves in reverse. And that little spot there was a little rift. That was their explanation for it. What I believe, however, and what we have come to find as things have gotten stranger and stranger, is that this is not evidence of time going in reverse in another dimension. No, no, no. It is evidence of a whole cosmic shift within our own present Earth. A change from the dimension we once were into a new one. And Earth is now in retrograde, permanently and perhaps irreversibly, as far as we know. So, as we are in this state of Earth being in retrograde, the spans in which we perceive Mercury to be in retrograde, because believe me, you've got to be paying really close attention to notice that Earth is in retrograde. Otherwise, things are just getting weird. And if you have any hope of surviving in this world, you've got to lean into it. You've got to find your weird thing. That thing that just lights you up. And do that. Because it's not going to get any more normal. This span right here, where the normal person perceives Mercury to be in retrograde, that, oh my gosh, hold on one sec. I'm painting right off of it. There we go, let's do this a little better. Let's be smart about this. Let's be smart about this, Cliff. There you go, oh my gosh. There you go. There you go, thank you everybody. So, as I was saying, oh my gosh, this is very dangerous work. Painting with this skirt on. But what was I saying? What was I saying? Let's angle this a little this way. Then you can see the boy drinking. See, we lost a few followers just because the cat was not on camera. There he is in the corner. Hard to see because he's a little black cat. Look, I improved the quality, and then the people leave. Anyway, Mercury, Earth. Earth is in retrograde, my friends. But this span right now, where folks perceive Mercury to be in retrograde, that is when Mercury is actually in its normal state. Everything is in retrograde, in kind of the permanent time. But these little blips is where Mercury is actually normal. And these are the spans in which we are returning to a sense of normalcy. These are the spans in which we are back to normal. But it is a trick. It is a trick. These odd little spans. If we can find our odd little things, the strange, the bizarre, things about ourselves, and the things out there in the world, we can really light this place up in a good way. But that's tricky to accomplish if you're focused on going back to normal. So we gotta move away from that. If you're watching at home, what are you drawing? And hey folks, ask me anything in the chat. That's our whole Earth in retrograde philosophy here on the show. And Mercury being in normalcy this current week. But if you're joining us, you're watching, for those of you who are raiders, you are here for the first time, You're watching Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. I'm Cliff McCallister, the czar of the bizarre. Every week on this show, we take your calls to discuss the strange, the unexplained, cryptids, extraterrestrials, ghosts, interdimensional beings, all the things that you can't believe, the things you cannot fathom. We open a Zoom line and we take your calls to find out what you think about what is going on and what bizarre things you have witnessed. It's an incredibly delightful program, I think, if I do say so myself. And if you are delighted tonight, you can always support us on Patreon, patreon.com/strangetimesindeed with Cliff McCallister. Let me tell you, folks, those of you joining us for the very first time, we're not taking calls tonight. Tonight, it's art night. It's art night, as I said. My gosh, my hair is everywhere. It's art night. Earth is in retrograde. Mercury is in its normal state. And we are forced to deal with the consequences. And so, we're having a little therapeutic, soothing art night here at Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. And I invite you at home to make some art as well. You can send your art to strangetipsindeed@gmail.com. Hi, little guy. Look at this. Hello, my sweet, sweet boy. This weekend on the show, I'm going to be streaming No Man's Sky, which I've really been enjoying. Being just a space explorer out there. Finding the lore of these extraterrestrial civilizations. Logging that. A very specific show journal that we'll be keeping track of and showcasing on that. So if you want to watch along then, follow this channel. We'll also be doing Fallout 76 on Sunday. This is a game, my friends, set in the wild and weird world of West Virginia. They got the Flatwoods. They got Braxy. We got Braxy. They got Braxy. They got Mothman. Folks, how can Cliff McCallister not play this game on the stream? Do you think extraterrestrials are into their own astrology? Or does our little solar system dictate astrology forever, everywhere? Well, that is something to consider. So, I think the way we would think about this, let's get into this deep philosophical question. I think extraterrestrial civilizations probably have a similar system to astrology. I think astrology is something that kind of goes in line with spirituality in most forms. And so I think if you have a society that is spiritual in some way or another, or, has spiritual aspects, there is perhaps some form of astrology. There is some form of reading into the stars and interpreting what they might mean. Now, that said, every society has its own different origin stories. And our astrology, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, is based in some sort of specific, ancient mythos. So I do not believe, the things that we look at the sky and we say, oh, that's the big bear, or that is the flying fish, whatever they are, Orion's belt. They may interpret it differently. They may be connecting different dots. But hopefully the same patterns spark in their eyes, if they glow at the same intensities. So they're probably interpreting things based on a similar star structure, but their own thing would need to be astrologically specific to their own homeworld. Everyone's astrology, consider this, everyone's astrology is specifically based on the position of where they were on Earth in relation to the rest of the cosmos on the date that they were born. And so if you were on a different planet, then you are on a different spot in the cosmic location. So your astrology is going to be a completely different set. Now, it might be kind of geared towards similar archetypes that we see here on Earth with astrology. You might see kind of the cosmic equivalent of a Libra, but if you are seeing this, you're not seeing it's not specifically like a Libra per se. You know, it's going to have a different name. It's going to be related to perhaps a different set of stars. But the specific cosmic location that aligns is going to be different. And if their sense of space, time/space is different than ours as well, that also puts wrinkles in it. Yes, absolutely. Say perhaps that we are looking at the astrological signs of a extraterrestrial species like the Tralfamadorians from Kurt Vonnegut's Slaughterhouse 5, an extraterrestrial race that is unstuck from time, witnessing all time at once from beginning to end. And they know the moment where everything begins, and they know the moment where everything ends. But they are just kind of stuck. You know? They see it all at once, all the time. They are unstuck from time. And so, astrology may have no specific effect on a being like that, but that's also to say if we're going full stop on their understanding of space and time, if they're fully unstuck from time, then you would have to wonder, how exactly does one live a life outside of a linear way? Some would argue that time is an imaginary construct and you can do little tricks to trick it and live forever. Stuff like that. I don't know how to pull that off, so I just paint the wood. Unrelated, do you hide symbols or messages in your art? Not specifically when I am, so here's a good example. Let me show off a little thing. So what I am doing here with this piece is this is kind of like a baseline here. We're just doing wood grain. I don't really hide little symbols in the wood grain at this stage. I just kind of do the wood grain. But what I will do on other pieces, less of it in this specific background. But if I'm doing like an accent piece, this is like a little shelf that I made. Oh, let's get it on camera. There we go. And so you've got the base layer of the wood grain there, but then we've got this fun thing on space symbols, and we've got Jupiter and Earth, or any specific like planet. It doesn't specifically have to be that, but I've really been enjoying kind of doing these extra layers, which would probably be a little more interesting to watch on screen than me doing the wood grain. But it's easier for me to talk to you while I'm doing the wood grain. And you can make your own art, whatever it is. Oh boy. Oh boy. Check. Okay, I think we're good. You find that sometimes you touch a little wet spot on your hand and you're like, oh boy. Into it. Thank you. Alright, give me 1 second, folks. We've got to flip the record over and keep going. Yeah, ba. All right, friends. This show is dedicated to my loving partner, M. Purper, who is undergoing, well, not undergoing, but is going to be getting top surgery. And they are presently doing a fundraiser for this very event to cover the costs and some of the recovery costs. You can find out about that. Go to the link tree in my Instagram. I've got a link to that GoFundMe in there. I don't have it in the chat, but it is linktr.ee /strangetimesindeed. You can find all the links for the show, and you'll also find a link right there to support that GoFundMe. It has reached the goal, but any extra little bit is very helpful to the cause. So there you go. Go ahead and support that. And also, I'd like to dedicate this show to any partners watching. Because we all love sitting around making some lovely art. Are you making art at home? You can send that to strangetipsindeed@gmail.com. Oh, why isn't this music working? Folks, we gotta get the music working, or lest we lose the serenity of the art room. What button did I not push? You hear all the little clicks and you think it's working. Congrats on reaching the goal! Yeah, oh my gosh, it happened very, very quickly. This was something that happened a lot quicker than we were expecting. So it's happening very earlier in the process. But we've got the date, and everything is going to be set aside to take care of all of the needs. So that's very great. That's very exciting. And we're thrilled. All right, folks, we are painting. We are painting tonight. Painting that wood grain. So go ahead and watch along with us. Make your art at home along with us. And ask me anything. Ask me anything in the chat. Please. We had a fascinating conversation about astrology and how we think it works for extraterrestrials. All these kind of things can be pondered. Just put any question in the chat. And oh boy, will we discuss it. It's kind of the tricky thing about the wood grain is it's very detailed. I used to do it a lot less detailed than this. But I really like the way this looks. But it also means we'll get maybe a plank and a half done before the stream is up. This, of course, the incredible Wendy Carlos. Switched on Bach. Alright, okay. Ask us anything. You are watching Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. Of course, your host, Cliff McCallister. Tonight is Art Night. Earth is in retrograde and Mercury is in a state of normalcy. We are back to normal, my friends, for just a few weeks. And oh boy, what has normal never been too good. So here we go. We're in that just for a brief amount of time. And then it's back to weird season. Right in time! Right in time, my friends, for the high season of Hallows Eve! That's right. Halloween is right around the corner, I'm sure you know. I'm sure many of you, if you are watching Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister, are well aware of our proximity to the great holiday of Halloween. And we will be celebrating that holiday at the Holiday Halloween Cliff McCallister's Strange Times Indeed Halloween Mass Oh no. On October 29th at the Maryland Ensemble Theater. That's going to be happening as a part of their Met Comedy Night programming. Our very first live show at the Maryland Ensemble Theater. We are going to be summoning the spirits of Halloween. So come join us. It's going to be quite a night. Tickets are $15. You can purchase them at marylandensemble.org/comedy night, all one word. And that link is not currently in the link tree, but it will be sometime tomorrow, I'm sure. So come and join us. Look, masses are what is in right now. Is everybody else watching Midnight Mass? I'm not going to talk about it, because the less you know if you haven't watched it, the better. And it's too soon in that show coming out for me to spoil it for anybody. All I gotta say is there's some dead animals in the first 2 episodes, so you should be aware of that. If that is something that will upset you, do not be warned. The show's pretty... I'm really liking it otherwise, but just be aware. Just be aware that, it's always sad to see. Also, to be fair, some human beings die too, but, they're not pets. I was thinking about this, and I was thinking, why do we get so upset when pets die in television, less so than when characters die? And I think it's because the pets don't really have, like pets have personalities, but for what you see of them in a movie, they're just pets. And so in our mind, we see a cat in a movie, and we go, that's like my cat. Because it's there just enough to see all the good qualities, and you go, oh, just like my little guy. But the cat doesn't really talk unless it's one of those movies, and if it's one of those movies, the cat doesn't really die. And so when they do, you go, oh my gosh, that was mine, or you remember the one, and you're like, oh no. And that's why it's so upsetting. But then when a human being dies in a TV show, they are acting, and sometimes their characters are annoying, or, sometimes you really like them, and you are sad that they go, but it's just like, I made that one a little closer than I wanted to, but that's okay. That's okay. Here's the thing about wood. It's random. Sometimes random things line up completely. And sometimes they're more planned than that. Alright, let's get into the actual questions I've been ignoring now that we've got them on the board. How are we doing for time? 10 minutes? Yeah, I'd get about 1.5 done by the end. Alright, what's your favorite thing about creating with cardboard? Well, first and foremost, I guess I would say one of the things that I think is this, and if I can really toot my own horn about this one, the nice thing about creating with cardboard is that I get all of this cardboard from the local toy store and or the local bookstore. The cardboard that I get is cardboard that otherwise would either get thrown in the garbage or sent to a local recycling plant. And so we're taking something that would typically be thrown out or destroyed or maybe reused for other boxes. I'm not really sure how the cardboard recycling process works. Because it always seems like a special thing if things are made out of a recycled material, which then seems like it's harder to do, or something that we refuse to do more of it. I don't know. Either way, what we're doing with cardboard is we're recycling, and just today, I'll let you in on a little story. Just today, I had a little sit down with my own grandfather. And we were just talking about contemplating life in the world and whatnot. And he said, Cliff, I don't know how many, I'm feeling all right, but I don't know how many years I got left, and But I tell you, when I really try to think about it, I have a hard time picturing this country of more than a few years down the road. And the other thing that really concerned him, he said, is what has been happening with the climate. And he said he's gone out, you know, when he was a kid, his family grew up around the bay, and they had like a house in Ocean City. And they talk about on the news, you know, the water levels in the bay have risen 8 inches since like that time that he would go as a kid. And 8 inches is a lot of water. And he had gone back at some point recently, and he goes and checks the water markers, and he's like, my God, it really is. It's exactly like they're saying. And it's like, I don't know, folks. There are some times, the Earth is in normalcy, but it's like, if we gotta lean into the weird. Some things gotta change if we're gonna keep going. Some things gotta change. And that means we've gotta fight this back to normalcy and find whatever that weird thing is that is going to sustain us and also keep us going. You know? And so I like working with cardboard because it's recycling. I don't have to pay money for it. And also, like, I mean, it just seems to take everything nicely, you know? I don't know, it takes the Walmart brand acrylic paint pretty well. So, that's pretty nice. Jeremy wants to know, do you think extraterrestrials will find us before we discover life on other planets? Yes. Jeremy, here's what I will tell you, my good friend. Extraterrestrials, they absolutely already have. You know, they've been here. The evidence is out there. It is overwhelming that we are being visited from beings beyond us. And we haven't gotten to them. Now, if perhaps the question is, perhaps another question more so would be, do we think that they will reveal themselves to us before we discover them officially on our own? In this case, I would probably say, excluding incidents in which they have intentionally revealed themselves to world leaders to dissuade them from using nuclear weaponry, with the exception of those specific kind of events, or exposing themselves via means of abduction or anything like that, a global unveiling of the extraterrestrials on their own terms. I think it's probably more likely I don't know. I do not know. And this is the thing. I do not think that if they were to come to us, they would be coming to us for any violent or you know, world-conquering reasons. Because we don't have any turf, we don't have any skin in the game, you know? We're just this one little planet at this time. There's no reason for them to really get anything from us that they couldn't get on other planets. That said, you know, so there's no really reason to conquer us. There's no reason to perceive them as a threat because we are not a threat to them. But if they come and we react violently to them because we do not know what they are, then we will be a threat to them because that's what we just started, you know? We became a threat to them. And so the concern is, what will happen if that happens? But if they are, if the extraterrestrial beings that are here and are studying us, if they are studying us with means to study, but perhaps to investigate or understand and perhaps preserve, I don't know, or perhaps if we are deemed worthy of being preserved or something, should a 0-hour event occur, as my grandfather and I are a little concerned about, should something like that occur, maybe they will come and save us. If we can prove that we can get along and if they all put us on one spaceship. You know, we really got to get it together. We can't go back to what the normal was because the normal was tearing us apart. We've got to find a way forward in which we are supporting and helping everybody. And we are ending all the wars. And taking care of the planet. They're not going to come if we destroy it. I'm going to test my computer the next time I see him and ask him what he thinks of aliens and watch his reaction. But hopefully extraterrestrials will make contact. I think they've already found us. Just my 2 pennies. Sleeping Zebra, who is the... You're going to test your customer. Okay, I misread customer as computer. Okay, I understand. I'm curious. That would be interesting. Yes. Always report if you've got people who you think have seen something. Tip them off. Tip them off to Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister, and we'll be taking their calls on future installments of the show. And maybe if you've got a real spooky story, like if you've got a real banger, a real humdinger of a scary story, the Halloween Spooktacular, Cliff's Halloween Mass, the summoning of the ancient Halloween deities. The Halloween deities. At the Maryland Ensemble Theater. On October 29th, 2021. A strange time indeed. Indeed. A live show. Come and join us. Oh my gosh, it's going to be so much fun. If you're not there, you're square. Alright, and I'll have no fussing or mussing about that. If you're not there, you're square. I don't write the rules. I don't write the rules, I just enforce them. If you're not there, you're square. I have a customer who I think may be an alien or a plant of some kind. When you say a plant, do you mean like a plant, like a earthly plant that is also sentient and disguised as a human being? Or do you mean a plant like an audience plant in some kind of way? I understand alien to be extraterrestrial. $10 o'clock, my friends. And there we go. 1.5. 45 minutes of work right there. So there you have it. So this has been Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. I've been your host, the Czar of the Bizarre, Cliff McCallister. Every week on this show, we take your calls to hear about the strange and the unexplained. We take your calls to hear about the strange and the unexplained. We'll be doing that on future episodes of the show, but we're taking next week off. I am going to be busy. But outside of that, we invite you to follow us on Patreon, patreon.com/strangetimesindeed. If you've enjoyed this show, you can help our research into the strange and the unexplained. And folks, here's a special reveal tonight. A special reveal tonight for those of you who are in the group. For those of you who are in the group, who are members of Cliff McCallister's inner circle of card-carrying weirdos. The $9 level of the Cliff McCallister's Secret Society, the Strange Time Society for Seekers of the Bizarre. It's not a secret. It's not a secret. Because why would it be? Why would the weird and why would the strange be a secret? But it is behind a little paywall. If you are a card-carrying weirdo, you're going to get a card sent to you. And we have officially written the text that is going to be on the card where your name will appear. You might think, oh, what? There's going to be text for that? Like, that's going to be an important thing that you would read off on a show? Yes, it is! It's very important. Here's what it says. As a member of the inner circle of card-carrying weirdos of Cliff McCallister's Strange Times Society for Seekers of the Bizarre, name and pronoun is hereby authorized to record, witness, and peacefully investigate all things unexplainable. What they witness, they will report to the Czar of the Bizarre. Cliff? So expect that. That'll be, and what we'll do, here's how it's going to get sent to you. If you are that level on Patreon, I'll message you. We'll say, what's your address? And then we'll get your address. And I'll say, what are your name and pronouns? What would you like on your card? And I will handwrite it on there. Like, the full message will be typed out, very neat. But I will nicely handwrite your name, your pronouns. And then I will sign my name at the bottom. And there'll be a cool design on the other side that we are still figuring out. And it'll go out to you, members of the Strange Times Society. So join us there. You can always support the show. It's so much fun. And it's so much fun to have all of you folks here tonight. Thank you for joining us for Paint Night. Thanks for watching me do all of this work. It's really been a joy. And I had a lot of fun discussing astrology with you all. And working with cardboard and everything else. It has been a lovely time. So thank you, everybody. I cannot thank you enough. Everybody who joined in the chat. Everybody. Yes, a new member of the Strange Times Society. Thank you so much, Sierra Casher. We will be getting all that info to you. And because you're a member of the society, you can also chat with us on the Discord. Here's the thing that I've been thinking might be fun on the Discord is setting up a channel where we can do like a TV show club. And we'll be like, every week we're gonna watch. Let's say Halloween's coming up. If we really wanted to commit to this, though it's a bad idea for me to commit to more things at this time, but something we can hypothetically do with the Discord in the near future is set up like a TV club and be like, all right, we're gonna watch an episode of this show, like maybe like a 1-season show kind of thing, but something in the realm, and be like, we're gonna watch an episode of this thing, or even just a one-off episode of the X-Files or something, and be like, we're going to discuss this episode in the chat for this week, you know, kind of thing, in a special room for members of the Strange Times Society. So if you want all access to that, you'll also get all sorts of behind-the-scenes content. You get a glimpse into Cliff's notebook. Ooh, you'll get clips. You'll get images from the journals of me playing No Man's Sky and Fallout 76 once that one gets started. I gotta get into the flow of the game before I get into the journaling of it. So Sunday's just gonna be like learning day, but Sunday's it's gonna be fun either way. If you're a friend of mine and you have access to these technologies and you're like, Cliff, I want to be a part of this. I want to come and game with you. Shoot me a message at strangetimesindeed@gmail.com. There we go. It's been up here the whole time. Did anyone send in any art? Let me take a look real quick. Nope, don't see any. All right, well, thank you so much for watching, everybody. Thank you for being a part of the show. You are all delightful and wonderful, and I love you all so much. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Thank you for being a part of Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. I don't have anyone to do the post-show talk with, so it's happening like right here to you by myself. So have a wonderful night. Thanks, everybody. I am going to leave. That's for the Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. I have been Cliff McCallister, the Czar of the Bizarre. Stay strange, terrestrials. Hey, if you're still watching and you just joined the Patreon, guess what? I run this page. I have control of the machine. So what I'm going to do is find the thing to where your name is listed. There we go. There we go. Is the name on your account the name that you want me to use? Or do you just want me to use the name in your chat? If you're not here, you can tell me. Well, actually, you can't. That's not how it works. And you did say night-night, so you're probably gone. What level are we at? Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sierra. A true friend of the show. Whether or not you're watching or listening. Look, know that I'm updating it. It's gonna get on there. But you don't need to listen to it happen. Have a wonderful night, everybody. Thank you for watching Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. Goodbye.